Alrighty, guys, let's go over this NBA slate. So, if you are from the YouTube side of things, please make sure to come over to DFS Sports, this subreddit. This is where I make updates. I make a post here every day for or for NBA, NFL. I make updates here based on the post. You can ask me whatever you want. Completely free. I'll always respond to you guys. So if you're from YouTube and you're watching on the YouTube and you don't know about this subreddit, DF Sports 1S, so DF Sports, then yeah, you can ask me whatever you want, and I will make updates based on news, etc. So please make sure to come over to this subreddit. And then if a Discord is something you're interested in, where I'll have in-depth videos going over each slate, player pools for cash, GPPs, etc. Just a bunch of more in-depth content. I will have a link to that on the subreddit and in the YouTube comments. So if that's something you're interested in, I will definitely have a link to that below. And as you guys know, I show you my results every day, so you know how I'm doing. You can tell if I'm a winning player, losing player, etc. So I think that's pretty important that I show you my results every day. So 2 bad days back to back. So I went from not missing a cash for about a week straight to 2 bad days back to back. So the core that I had tonight, I just completely whiffed. Completely whiffed on the core tonight. The core that I had tonight was Danilo Banton, Devin Vassell, Scotty Barnes, Thad Young, Jordan Poole. So I had a core of 5 tonight. Jordan Poole, Thad Young, Danilo Banton were all hits, all absolutely smashed, but I completely whiffed on Devin Vassell and Scotty Barnes. So just completely screwed myself with these two. It didn't matter that Banton, Thad Young, Jordan Poole were absolute smash plays. Scotty Barnes is just absolutely redacted. This guy fucking sucks. Shoot him to the moon. Absolute trash basketball player. Get him out of here. I hate him so much. The Spurs. I mean, can we talk about the Spurs? First off, Greg Popovich, what the fuck are you doing with that starting lineup? They have no point guards left, and you're starting Sochan. What are you doing with your life? Please, for the love of God, get help. Just start Richardson. What? Oh my God, that was so tilting. Um, as I said, Scotty Barnes just absolutely redacted. Nick Nurse, shoot him to the moon too after that rotation tonight. Just ridiculous. Just the shit I saw tonight was absolutely ridiculous. If you made money today, count your blessings, call it a day, because I wanted to punch things from today. I literally wanted to punch things from today. Just the amount of bullshit that happened, and then I rounded out. So the core: Ben, Vassell, Scotty Barnes, Thad Young, Jordan Poole, and then I rounded out my lineup with Bassi, Giannis, Chris Boucher. I originally had Josh Richardson here, but obviously I was behind because Scotty Barnes is absolutely terrible. So I had to swap off Josh Richardson, so I went to Bassi. They scored the same, so it didn't really help, but yeah. Let's go over this NBA slate. So, yeah, let's do this. So, Memphis at Pelicans. We've got a short slate here, only a 5-gamer. So, Memphis at Pelicans. Desmond Bane is doubtful. Jaren Jackson Jr. is probable, I believe. Intends to make a season debut. Yeah, probable. So, expecting Jaren Jackson Jr. to play, but I'm expecting him to be on a minutes limit. That being the case, I think Ja Morant makes for one of the best spin-ups on the slate, especially with no Desmond Bane. He's just going to be the clear number 1 guy on this team. It's a good spot against the Pelicans. Both teams play pretty fast. Not much really to say here. I think Ja Morant makes for one of the best spin-ups on the slate. So, love Ja. But no Desmond Bane. Dylan Brooks is still going to shoot the ball probably 20 to 25 times. I think he makes for a solid option at 6K with no Desmond Bane. If we get news that Jaren Jackson Jr. is not going to be limited, then yeah, you can play him at this price tag. But I'm like 100% sure that he's going to be limited, so we'll probably just stay away from that for now. Steven Adams, I think, is a solid play. I'm not scared of Jonas Valanciunas or Larry Nance defensively, so I think Steven Adams could eat on the glass. Double upside. Yeah, I think he's a solid value of 5.5K. Now, with Jaren Jackson Jr. coming back, expecting Santi Aldama to go back to the bench. Probably not going to go there. Tyus Jones, a little bit overpriced, obviously overpriced now with John Morant back. John Conchar probably going to still stay in the starting lineup with Desmond Bane out, so I think he's a playable value. But now that the price went up to 4.9K, he's not an absolute smash play, and he's not like a very good value. But I still think he's a playable value at 4.9K. Like, I don't think he's going to kill you, but I really don't think he's going to win you a tournament at that price tag. And then outside of that, I think Brandon Clark is fine at 3.8K now that the price went down. He'll probably play anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, depending on if Steven Adams, you know, gets into foul trouble or if they want to go to Brandon Clark. We have seen that in the past where they just decide they want to go to Brandon Clark over Steven Adams. So I think Clark is definitely a playable value. So Zion Williamson is questionable. We'll go over both ways. If he is in, then there's not many standouts for me. Like Zion, Ingram, CJ, Jonas Valanciunas are all playable. I probably still wouldn't get to Jonas Valanciunas regardless if Zion is in or out. Just the minutes are so not secure with Jonas Valanciunas. They want to go to Larry Nance, so just a GPP play. Larry Nance, I am definitely intrigued by for GPPs. 23 and 28 minutes the last two games. Larry Nance is a good point per minute guy. I like the spot here, so I kind of am intrigued by Larry Nance for GPPs. I think, like, if I knew Larry Nance was going to play 25 plus minutes tomorrow, he'd probably be in my lineup with not a lot of value on this slate outside of the Spurs. So I'll just leave it at that, I guess. So I'm intrigued by Larry Nance for GPPs. Herb Jones is always a playable value. He's going to play huge minutes, but he's not going to be productive when he's on the court, but always a playable value. And then outside of that, not going to get to anyone unless Zion is out. So if Zion is out, then I think Ingram, CJ both look like very solid plays. Jonas Valanciunas doesn't change much for me, just only a GPP play. Still would like Larry Nance for value. Herb Jones would be playable. And then we're going to have to monitor who they start. So they're going to either start Najee Marshall or Trey Murphy. Whoever would start, I would like quite a bit for value. Both are not terrible point per minute guys, so monitor that situation. Whoever does start for Zion, if he is out, becomes a pretty good value play. And I think Jose Alvarado would be a little bit more playable with no Zion, but only a large field GPP play for me. On to the Clipper side, so tough spot here for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, is John Wall out? We're going to have to see if he's going to be back. I believe he will be back, but Kawhi Leonard out. Paul George, 10.4K. Dallas, very, very good defensive team. A contrarian play for me, but I think he's fine. I'd much rather just go to like John Morant. I'd much rather go to Kevin Durant. I think I'd much rather go to Domantas Sabonis. So doesn't rank for me as a top spend up, but I think he's still playable with Kawhi Leonard out. Vijay Subak, actually, I want to take a look at. It was a massive blowout tonight, right? It was. They didn't play normal minutes. Zubac, I think, will play over 30 minutes if the game can stay close. I do like the individual matchup for him. You know, bigs against Dallas. So I think Zubac is a pretty good play. Marcus Morris will probably play over 30 minutes at this price tag. He's just fine. Not going to go out of the way to play him. John Wall, Reggie, they're both there for me. Both playable. And then I don't really think I'm getting to anything else on the Clipper side of things. So if you have enough value for Luka, yeah, by all means, be my guest. Play him. He's been phenomenal this year. But, you know, when I play him, 45 fantasy points. I fade 61, 58, 51. I play him here 45. Fade 83. Huh? Huh? Seriously? Huh? But okay. All right, dude. But yeah, if you have the money for Luka, by all means, I think he's a good spend up. I don't have to go over why. Obviously, it's triple-double upside. Dinwiddie has still been phenomenal with Christian Wood back. So if you want to pay 6.7K for Dinwiddie, be my guest. I don't hate it. Christian Wood, hard for me to get to him at this price tag. And then outside of that, Tim Hardaway Jr. has gained minutes the last two games. If we're going to get 25 plus minutes of Tim Hardaway Jr. at 4.4K, I definitely think he's a pretty good value play. Now, those minutes are definitely not secure, so be a little bit careful, but I am intrigued by Tim Hardaway Jr. for GPPs. Dorian Finney-Smith, you guys know the drill. Going to play huge minutes. Probably not going to score you more than 25 fantasy points, but probably score you 15 to 20 to 25. Fine option, but doesn't really have a ceiling at that price tag. And then I don't really think I'm going to. I guess Reggie Bullock is fine, but lost minutes last game. Why did he lose minutes last game? Who they go? They went to Tim Hardaway Jr. Makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, I probably wouldn't go to Reggie Bullock. On to the Knicks. So, good spot here against Utah. See, my issue here is I guess I don't have an issue. I guess I don't. I think all three of the Knicks main guys are fine. I definitely prefer. I probably wouldn't go to RJ Barrett at this price tag, but I think Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle are both solid options. I really do. I think Jalen Brunson stands out a little bit more than me than Julius Randle does. Jalen Brunson's just been phenomenal this year. I don't think people understand how good he's been, and I'm not expecting that to change. You know, um, minutes wise for him, only played 24 last game. I don't understand that. Pretty sure he got benched. But if you're a Knicks fan, can you tell me what happened here? But I think normally he's probably going to play 35-ish minutes. You know, their primary ball handler, him and Julius Randle, are going to lead this offense. So I think both the Knicks guys look solid. I definitely do prefer Brunson to Randle. RJ, no thank you. If Mitchell Robinson is out, and Isaiah Hartenstein does start, I'm going to like him a lot at 5.3K. Now, they have been switching the starting lineup sometimes, assuming Mitchell Robinson is out. They've been going to Jericho Sims. They've been switching it up with Hartenstein. So just monitor that situation. But if Hartenstein starts, I'm going to like him a lot for GPPs, especially if he's going to be low owned. That's only if Mitchell Robinson is in fact out though, so we'll just have to monitor that news. Quickly had a huge game off the bench last game. Not going to chase that. Cam Reddish had a huge game as well. Definitely not chasing that either. Jericho Sims, if he starts at center with Mitchell Robinson out, you can definitely consider him for value. I think he'd be a fine value play. And I don't think I'm getting to anything else on the Knicks side. So on the Utah side of things, it's a tough spot against the Knicks. The Knicks play slow. They play good defense. So not much stands out to me. Like, they're all just playable. Like, Markkanen, 7.5K, has been struggling of late. He's just there for me. I think he's a little bit overpriced, though. Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, they're both just fine options. I think both are a little bit overpriced as well. Kelly Olynyk has been bad this year. I thought he was going to be really, really good starting at center for the Utah Jazz, but he's been pretty bad. And I'm sad because Kelly Olynyk is one of my favorite players in DFS. So, it's not the best spot either. So just a contrarian play for me, but yeah, it really pains my heart that Kelly Olynyk has been bad this season. Jared Vanderbilt, 4.7K, just a fine value. Probably plays around 25 minutes. Good rebounder, good defender. Not the best offensive player, but does have double-double upside. Just a playable value. Colin Sexton at 4.4K. Honestly, might be my favorite play on the Utah Jazz. Minutes have been kind of all over the place, but if we're going to get, 20 to 25 minutes of Colin Sexton at 4.4K, I definitely think he's a solid value play, and I'm definitely intrigued by that for GPPs. Malik Beasley has been getting a lot more run of late. I'm fine with it. Malik Beasley isn't a terrible point per minute guy. Um, do I think his minutes are secure? No, I don't. So there definitely is a risk there. I will say if I knew he was going to play 30 minutes back to back to back to back to back nights, I was looking for value, but I don't know if he's going to be doing that. Outside of that, THT has been good, but I don't think I can go there. I'm just not playing enough. Let's go to my favorite game to target on the slate, and that is the Brooklyn Nets at Sacramento Kings. I think Kevin Durant right now makes for one of the best spin-ups on the slate with no Kyrie Irving, one of the best spots in the league up against Sacramento. I think Nicholas Claxton, assuming he plays, which he does, is probable, makes for a very good play at 5.9K, especially if Ben Simmons is out. That just makes his minutes even more secure because they won't have anyone else to go to besides Claxton. Ben Simmons, if he plays at 5.7K, I still think is a little bit overpriced, but fine option. Royce O'Neal, 5.2K, probably going to play close to 35 minutes, probably score you around 25 fantasy points. I think he's solid. Seth Curry, I believe, is probable, so that kind of muddies the waters with Cam Thomas, Seth Curry, Sumner. So I don't have a favorite, but maybe Seth Curry, my favorite. Out of the grouping of those guards. And then I think that's it for Joe Harris. You guys know the deal with Joe Harris. He'll probably play around 30 minutes. Might need his offense playable value. But really for me, it's Kevin Durant and Nicholas Claxton on the Brooklyn side that I think looks pretty good. And then onto the Sacramento side, I think Domantas Sabonis right now makes for one of my favorite plays on the slate at 9.2K. Just phenomenal spot up against Brooklyn. And if he can stay out of foul trouble, he's just going to break DFS. Sabonis and Fox are just doing everything for this team right now. It's just a 1-2 punch combo. Phenomenal spot. So I love Sabonis still on the slate. I love Fox on the slate. I think there's some good value here too. I think Kevin Huerter at 5.4K is solid. He's been phenomenal this year, averaging 16.6 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, playing big minutes as well. I don't hate it in a good spot against the Brooklyn Nets, and I don't hate Keegan Murray, who played 37 minutes last game. Now we're probably not going to get 37 minutes again, but minutes have gone up the past few games, so if we're going to continue to get an uptick in minutes from Keegan Murray, I don't hate that. I think Barnes is playable at 4.7K. I think Malik Monk is an interesting GPP option. He'll be productive off the bench. Now, minutes haven't been secure, but he'll be really, really productive when he's off the bench. And then I don't think I'm going to go to anyone else. If you think Sabonis gets into foul trouble because he's always in foul trouble, you can consider a guy like Metu, but yeah. A lot to like with Sacramento. And potentially a lot to like with the Spurs. So let's pull up the rotation tonight for the Spurs, or the minutes. Obviously, it was a massive blowout, so we can't really put too much thought into it. But Devin Vassell still played 25 minutes in a massive blowout. Had a very, very disappointing game. Sochan played 25 starting at the point. Was in foul trouble. And then, obviously, the massive blowouts. You saw a lot of run for Roby. You saw a lot of run for Bassey. Saw a lot of run for Doug McDermott, Jordan Hall. So, yeah, can't really put too much thought into the Spurs here. But Keldon Johnson just barely played. So, we're going to have to monitor the news here if he was hurt or if they just limited him. So, we're going to have to monitor that. I will say, do we know if Trey Jones is going to be out? He was out for sickness, so we don't know. I will say if everybody is in, like Trey Jones, Keldon, it's a good spot. I think Trey Jones would probably be my favorite option. I think that price tag would be a little bit too cheap. And then I think Sochan would be playable. I don't think I'd really be going to anyone else on the Spurs, though. But if Keldon and Trey Jones are both out, pretty much what they did tonight, Devin Vassell is going to lead the offense, pretty much have to do everything for this team. I think he would make for a very, very good play. Jakob Poeltl would look good. Josh Richardson's going to be a very, very good value. Charles Bassey is going to be firmly in play. Sochan, if he starts at the point again, would be a pretty good value play. Keita Bates-Diop, 3.3K, that'd be too cheap. He'd be a good value play as well. Just a lot of usage and minutes to go around if Keldon and Trey Jones are both out. And then if one of Keldon or one of Trey Jones is out, I'll make an update. We'll figure things out. But really sucks that is the last game of the slate. And onto the Portland side of things, a really good matchup up against Spurs. I think Damian Lillard makes for a good GPP play. Simons, Grant, both overpriced. Nurk, if he plays, is playable, but I don't like the price tag there. Hart's overpriced for me. And I don't think I'm getting to anyone else. I will say if Nurkic is out, Drew Eubanks, solid value. Him and Watford probably split the center minutes. I'm just going to prefer the cheaper guy there. So would like Eubanks if Nurkic is out, but yeah, not much on Portland that really looks good to me outside of Damian Lillard and possibly Drew Eubanks. So hope you guys had a good night tonight, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.